How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Yours truly back again with some more Sunday Generations gameplay, and this is some DLC, Fire Emblem DLC to be exact, where we fight Hyper Silver Rathalos. And my goodness, will I say this is one heck of a fight. But let's get directly into the equipment because that's the really important stuff. Okay, so right off the rip, we're looking at the Marth armor. Man, it looks bad as a black guy, but you get antivirus, weakness, exploit, and critical boost. A lot of people have said it's better than that of the Silver Rathalos armor, which is also kind of like a critical set. Has 5 slots, and you get to look like Marth, so yeah. It also comes with the weapon, the sword and shield, the Falchion, I believe. Attack is okay. The dragon is where it's at, plus 25 on the defense. The sharpness kind of leaves much to be desired. You need sharpness plus 2 to actually get to the white. But once you get it to this final form, the blue is relatively decent. But for starters, it's not so much. So the armor and the gear that you actually get with this is actually pretty decent. I would recommend it quite as well. A lot of people that I know actually have the full Marth armor and they really love it to death because they say it's like Silver Rathalos armor but better, because Silver Rathalos armor has a negative skill of some sort. I can't remember. I don't make Rathalos armor. I should have looked it up, but I couldn't be bothered. I don't like Rathalos, so I hate this quest. So let's talk about why we hate this quest. Silver Rathalos by himself is already a monster who kind of gives a lot of people a lot of trouble, but I will say his hyper variant is wow. Okay, like I'll admit, when I first started playing hunting this guy, it took me a while to actually get comfortable. Like, I wanted to go in here with the gun lance, because whenever I use the gun lance, it's not like I'm not trying to actually kill the thing, but I'm being a little bit more lenient when I use the gun lance fighting a Rathalos. Because back in the day, you used to be able to fight Rathalos with a gun lance really easy, but they've since nerfed the gun lance, and that's not the case anymore. But what I'm getting at is, when you fight this guy, you don't want to be relatively lenient. A lot of people have actually gone to what's known as cheesing a monster to actually complete this quest. Cheesing is when, you know, you get people who bring like paralysis weapons, or like you sleep bomb it, and you get like a whole lot of traps, a whole lot of flash bombs, and you pretty much make the Rathalos' life a living hell. You cause it to not move as often. You use bowguns to do this as well. Lockdown runs, if you guys know what lockdown runs are, I'm pretty sure most of you do. People would pretty much go to those tactics to actually fight this guy, and I could totally see why. He hits very hard. He has a decent amount of health. I mean, more than I actually thought he would normally have, but it's due to him being hyper, but he has quite a bit of health. He hits very hard, quite unforgiving monster, this guy. He doesn't stun as easy as I think before. I mean, not stun, he doesn't reel when you attack him as easy as before, so you have to put a serious amount of actual hits into this guy for actually, you know, kicks the bucket, or he just even tips over for you. So he's tough. He's really tough. A lot of people, like I said, they do like to cheese it, but me, I'm the kind of guy who just likes to hunker down and press a lot of buttons and try my best to actually kill it the standard way, which is what we actually had done here, which is good. But if he's giving you that much trouble, I recommend you come here with like sword and shield weapon like the Death Prize, which is infamous for paralyzing monsters very quickly. Bring yourself a lot of traps, things that you can use to actually make more traps. Flash bombs to get him out of the air, because that's very pivotal. We use a lot of flash bombs here as well, and maybe even a bow gunner too. Truth be told, this is actually our second time with this group, and the bow gunner actually made it a lot easier for us to actually complete this quest, because the first time it was like a 15-minute win. This time was a 10-minute win, and I'll take a 10 over a 15. It was due to the bow gun, because before he was a cat, and I mean, he wasn't doing too bad as a cat. It's just that, with the bow gun, you can do a multitude of things that a cat necessarily couldn't do. But that being said, understand this, he hits very hard, so you're going to want to go in here with your highest defense, or the highest defense you can. Bring yourself a bit of fire resistance as well, because I'm using a Cantor R. I completely maxed him out. The defense is 691. It has has positive 20 on the fire resistance, and I was still getting the clap from a fireball to the face. So like, make sure you really go here with some good fire resistance, either where Raytheon or Rathalos or somebody else has at least 20 on the fire res with a good amount of defense. I want to say 600 or go home when it comes to defense. Bring about 600, you should be okay. I went 691 because, I don't know, I just felt like maxing it out, but totally bring yourself some water weapons as well. Water is this guy's #1 weakness. If you can't really bring some water, bring water anyway. I mean, come on. I mean, really, this is Hyper Silver Rathalos. You should at least have one maxed out, water weapon. If not, Thunder. Thunder is still pretty good at fighting the Silver Rathalos. Not the greatest. Water is his greatest, but if you can't bring yourself some water, at least some Thunder. You know what I mean? But with that being said, let me just recommend that when you go to fight this guy, bring yourself some Adept or Aerial. You honestly, even if you don't want to cheese it, you want to make it to where fighting this guy is a lot easier for you and your homies as best you can, because he's just one heck of a monster to fight. He hits hard, very unforgiving, and you want him to not do what he does best as often as you can get him to not do what he does best. So you want to stay on the guy, no matter if you're gonna cheese him or just beat him straight down with raw force. Just stay on him and be very offensive in the way you do things. Be careful though, because his fireballs do a great amount of damage. So once you get the timing and things down on the Silver Athlos, you should be in good hands. But with that being said, everyone, I'm pretty sure that's all I have for you guys in terms of this guy right here. Like I said, he's very tough, probably the toughest monster to fight in the game so far. There's a tougher quest out there where you have to fight his Hyper Silver Athlos and a Hyper Gold Raytheon at the same time in the tower, but we're not quite there yet. But for right now, he is the toughest monster to fight in the game due to his, ability to one-shot most of you for free, and him flying and him loving his fireballs and having high amounts of attack, high amounts of health. His stun is kind of low too, so it's kind of tough to fight the guy. But persevere, bring your killer team, bring your best people to get this guy. Farm him out. You want this armor. The Marth armor is really good. On top of the Marth armor, Hyper Silver Athlos in this quest is the only Hyper Silver Athlos in the game. So if you're making Silver Athlos stuff and to actually max out, you need Hyper Silver Athlos scales. This is the only way you can actually do it. So you kind of forced to doing this. The Silver Rogue Gun Lance, the gun lance that I actually have, that I actually like to use a lot, I actually need 2 Hyper Silver Athlos scales to finish it. So I have to fight this guy. But with that being said, that's everything I have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys win. This is a tough fight. I'll admit it was a tough one. I had to pull no punches this time. No punches were pulled. I tried my best. But with that being said, again, it's been your boy, Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Hopefully you guys found this video relatively useful. And if you need more help on fighting the Silver Athlos, in the video description will be a link to me fighting a standard Silver Athlos, giving you more information on how it needs to be done. But that's that. Everyone, take care, and may the Desire Sensor forever be in your favor.